exhibited in museums and galleries from Southern California to Scotland. The vibrant watercolors of Gayle Roski tell the story of people, places, and points in time. For Gayle, they also tell the story of personal self-discovery and joy.
It's magic. I mean, watercolor is magic. It paints itself. It's like no other. I've done every other medium, but when I found watercolor, I just loved it. And so I've never changed. And I've tried other things, but I keep coming back to watercolor. I always did art, but I never did it professionally. And it was later, after my children were grown, and then I started feeling like a shadow to my husband and my children. And I thought, well, what about me? Well, I turned 50. And at 50, I did a couple of spectacular things that taught me to have courage. And then I went to New York and saw Virginia Woolf's play of A Room of Her Own. That play was so important to me because, as you know, Virginia Woolf had to create a room of her own to write. Well, I took one of the children's bedrooms and I started my painting career in that little room. Had my first show when I was 50, and now I'm 77, and my career is terrific. It gives me such joy to create. I love being in my studio. I love every day, and I never think about getting old or what I don't have. Okay, and then I've got boxes of cards, and these are all original paintings. And the other thing I do is I have fun with the scarves. Here's one that I did for USC, for a group called Town and Gown Charity. I love doing these things. And then when you do the painting, this is the painting that made into a scarf. Here's another one. These are all scarves. This one was framed. That one was framed. I've got the scarves over there. This one is of Italy, and I did a show of Italy. Actually, I made a skirt out of it. That's right, and I stuck it in there. I took two scarves and made a skirt. Okay. I went to Paris and went to the museum to see the Mona Lisa, and I was really shocked because hundreds of people were using selfies, and my generation, where we've gone is so far, and so this is called Mona Who at the Louvre. So these are girls being photographed by, and this is a preview of a movie that's happening. I will have some people with their hands in the sidewalk up here, and then the sidewalk also has some stars on it, you know, the names of stars. Sid Grauman, a single man who had no children, would come over and work with my father because they owned the Hollywood roller skating rink together. So that was my memory, and of course Grauman's Chinese is world renowned and such an interesting. So I decided that really, because These paintings behind me are going into the Autry Museum. And the middle one is Melody Ranch, which Autry owned. And I thought, well, that's a good tie-in for the Masters of the American West, which happens in February and March. And I'm working towards the big goal of creating a book of Los Angeles. Right now, I've got 34 paintings, and when I get to 40, I think I'll be ready to get that book going. But you know, I was born and raised here. I'm a native. So every one of these paintings has a story about my life. You know, we all think that maybe we know ourselves as teenagers, certainly in our 20s and our 30s, 40s. Listen, I'm learning about myself at my age, and there's so much more to learn.
To learn more, log on to GayleGarnerRoski.com.